Today, and actually over the last several weeks, I've been on a baby-proofing adventure. And why an adventure? Well, because I've been discovering that babies change. Who knew? And Jackson finds new things every day to get in trouble with. So, we have been trying to baby-proof those as they come up, and we're gonna go through those. We're gonna need more puffs. So I'm gonna run through some of my misconceptions and the errors I've made, so hopefully you learned something from this, and I'm gonna show you what I've baby-proofed so far and what I've had to fix. There are bound to be a lot of items that I miss, because I think things are gonna continue to change, but I think that's my big takeaway from this experience is be prepared to continuously change and continuously baby-proof things. So let's dive right in. So I made a mistake when I was baby-proofing these cabinets. In an earlier video, I used a spring latch. I thought it was the greatest thing. It worked great for like 6 or 8 weeks, but as it turns out, babies get stronger.
Here I am, just after installing a second set of those old style latches, discovering they don't work anymore.
Okay. You can still open them. So I have since switched to a different style latch. I didn't initially go with these because they require some real depth to the face frame, and I just don't have that. So I don't know why this didn't come to mind sooner, but if you run into the same problem like I do, some small blocks, double-sided sticky taped to the back of your face frame, you don't actually have to like physically screw it in place, work great as a short extension, so there's room to mount these blocks in the back of the face frame. So here's that narrow face frame I mentioned and why I initially dismissed this solution. I wish I had thought of just a narrow support block in the back because that has been working great. So here's a shot of the face frame on my china cabinet. It is significantly deeper, which means I didn't have to worry about putting an extension block on here in order for that catch to work. So I'm just gonna put a couple pieces of double-sided sticky tape on the back of this block. And then for placement on this block, I want to be on this outside edge and flush with the bottom of the face frame here. And then I'll give it a good squeeze for a couple of seconds to make sure it sticks. This white catch, again, outside edge, and then the further back you are, I think the better, because then the cabinet will open less and they can't squeeze their little arms in here and try and grab something through the gap. All right, for the latches themselves, I'm gonna more or less eyeball this, but my tip is gonna be higher the better. Now, what this does is it means I've gotta press this to open and close it. I find that these don't actually ride over this 45-degree angle here, but when I set it low, I can like just pull this open. And I'm pretty convinced that my son's gonna be able to do that eventually too, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this and make sure I'm happy with its placement. So I don't want to be on the screw, and I want to make sure I am mostly on a flat surface. I don't want to be too much not on these two rails and then just floating in space above this panel. But nice and simple. I like this a lot better. My wife and I can get our fingers in here to press and open and close that, but the baby can no longer get in there, so very happy. These were invisible cabinet latches. I've been pretty happy with how these have been going so far. I tested them for a week and a half, 2 weeks before I decided to deploy them in the rest of my cabinets because I didn't want to have to do this a third time. So next up on my baby-proofing adventure is this glass coffee table. I love the way it looks, but we've already had one mishap. I don't want to keep banging any heads on it. That's just a bad time all around. And I'm skipping the DIY approach after my other adventure with those kitchen cabinets. So I found this slim edge, safe, basically adhesive foam that'll go all the way around it. You can do straight edges, curved edges, all that other good stuff. So we're gonna put this on and I'm gonna let you guys know how it fares against baby hands pulling on it and dogs in the room, and if it is bump proof, and you know, how it all works out. So the last baby-proofing step of the table, I've got some black tennis balls with some holes cut in them. They're gonna go on these kind of pointy legs. Jackson loves playing with water. We've got a water table at my parents' house outside and he adores it. And it's like these toilets are water tables. So, toilet seat locks. Keep him out and clean. This way we can brush our teeth in peace and not having him splishing, splashing around in here. These are not rocket science. Just put them in place. And then there's this little tab as well, just under this end here. So we're gonna do that next. So this is certainly a minor inconvenience in terms of, opening and closing the lid on a regular basis, but it's definitely worth it for when Jackson's around and we're brushing our teeth or doing laundry, which we have in our half bath downstairs. So this will keep hands out. It's pretty straightforward. Can no longer lift the lid, which is great. When you need it, pull it out the way. You can use it as normal. When you want to close it, press the button. So one more baby-proofing step out of the way. All right, so next on the list of baby-proofing items is night lights. These are great for when you're walking around in the middle of the night, trying to get a bottle, but my $9 six-pack budget night lights, which are very bright, just aren't safe around the baby because he can push them off the wall and put his tiny fingers in behind here, and I am very concerned he's gonna grab the prongs. So what have I switched to? These Pass and Seymour outlets here that are 3-level adjustable. The only problem is these are a tad bit expensive. You can get 6 of these for $9. These are $26 a piece currently. So I will get more of these for the time being. I'm just taking these down. All right, so down here in the workshop, this one might be a little unique to me, or this might apply to some of you, but these nice 45-pound plates were a very fun steering wheel earlier this week, and he made quick work of darn near dropping it on his toes. So I am going to add a little linchpin to kind of try and put a stop to that. All right, now no amount of truck driving or playing around with these. I'm gonna allow him to pull these off on his toes, which is great because these currently weigh a lot more than he does. So simple fix. I'm gonna do the rest and I'll feel a little more comfortable having him hang out down here. Hi. Yeah. Da. 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 So the latest thing Jackson discovered that he likes to try and play with is the stove knobs. And I don't really want him playing with these or turning these on. So I said there's got to be a solution. I am not the only person with front-mounted controls, and thank God there's a dedicated knob cover for stoves. So we're gonna go ahead and put those on. Hi. Wow. Yeah, are you helping? You helping? Yeah, let's do that. So these are about as straightforward as they get. So a button on the bottom, you press to release it, and it opens up. And then we're just gonna pull the knob off. We can put the knob back on and then latch it closed. So is it the most aesthetically pleasing solution? Probably not, but it is safe and that's what's most important. It's pretty easy to open and then I can still control it pretty easily. So I don't have to worry about his little fingers accidentally turning this on. Yeah, we can't turn nothing on by mistake. Isn't that good? Yeah. That's what I like to see. Oh, I think we need a door latch next. We just discover new stuff every day. And I'm quite sure I saw a door latch somewhere, so that is definitely next on the list. Whether or not it makes this video, we shall see. All right, so that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys found this helpful in your own baby proofing adventure. And if you like it, leave me a comment or a like, or tell me what you think I could still improve on. I'd love to hear your feedback, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.